Imagine I did die on the day. The devil wasn't out to get an accident, he was out to get me killed. But I remembered shouting to God and said, God, heal me. Why are we here? It's all about God. He never leaves you, He never forsakes. Ek het gedink ek wil dit staande doen. Al is dit nou met my staanraam en ek my eie, I've got my own preekstoel, wat's dit in Engels? Podium, yeah. And just so awesome to see you all. En ons het op 'n stadium gesê ons gaan die kerkbanke vol kry en ons het dit vol. Thank you for each and every one wat vandag saam met my kom deel, and each and every one played such a big role in our lives. Not since the accident, but even before that. And why are we here? It's all about God and what He wants to do in your life, because He made each and every one of us with a very specific purpose. Something only you can do. Ek kan nie jy wees nie. Jy kan nie ek wees nie. And if one of us don't do our part, there's a big hole. Ruth sê altyd as ons hier agter is 'n mosaïek that says Jesus. If you take one of those stones away, it's a very visible hole. As een van ons nie doen wat ons moet nie, is al groot gat. En net om almal hier te sien, Retief, Marisa, dis studente daar, so mense wat kom kuier vir Retief, het ek amper nie herken toe kom nou sien. Dit, it just goes to show. Vriende, mense, God gebruik mense in ons lewe. God gebruik mense om ons te help. And where did this whole process start? The accident? Before even that, there were 6 years that God spoke to me, and He prepared us for this. We didn't know that at the time. But He did. He built me up in my faith. He walked with me a very close path. En hy het my nie laat afdraai nie. There's a song in Afrikaans, and I forgot the guy's name. Elke afdraai paadjie ken ek. Maar hy het my weer kom haal. And as I progressed in this journey with God, even small worldly things like policies were put in place a couple of months before. We bought a new house from Thuis, which it's got gange wat breed is, places for a lift. Everything was in preparation, and we didn't know that. Nie dat God wou gehad het dat ek in daardie ongeluk moes gewees het nie. But He knew what was going to happen. The Saturday before I went cycling, when my frik gave me a call, kyk ek nou na die ding en ek dink ek gaan nie antwoord. Die frik wil hê ons moet môre gaan fietsry. Something was in there saying, just don't take the call. The Spirit was talking to me and I didn't listen. I answered the call. En ons maak 'n afspraak, ons gaan fietsry. The next day, early in the morning as I left, word Liana wakker and she says, ry net veilig. She never says that. Dat my spore vasgesteek het my baie gepla. Second time the Spirit was warning me not to go. I didn't listen en ek het weer gegaan. En toe ek nou vir vrou ontmoet, nou sit ons maak die fiets reg. And the route that we were going to cycle has got a circle route, and there's a left and a right. The previous day we went cycling as well, and Dian was with me. En hy sê, sal ons hierdie keer regsom gaan of sal ons links? And something said, just do the same route as yesterday, keep left. Ek sê, ag, wat maak dit nou saak? Let's go right. Derde keer, dat die Here met my praat. That small voice, that spirit voice that's within us. I ignored that. So, definitely not God's idea that there should have been an accident. But He knew what I was going to do. So in any event, He prepared me for it, despite. And the first thing that I remember after the accident, if it was, and I don't know if it was a loud shout, and if it's just in my mind, but I remembered shouting to God and said, God healed me. That's the very first thing I remember. I wasn't aware of the severity of the accident as yet. But that was the very, very first thing. God healed me, and I know He can. And I still believe to this day that He will. But it's a process. More about that a little later. So my first testimony is the miracles started long before the day of the accident. God was aware. God knew what He was going to help me with. And He knew what my answer was going to be, and despite that, He still helped. And I think Ari mentioned it, no matter the obstacles, no matter when we fall, God will be there for you. And never doubt that. The second thing is, when the Spirit talks, He doesn't shout. He speaks to you in a very, very small and soft voice, but He shouts if you listen to it quietly. And when He speaks, obey immediately. Moenie daaroor wonder nie, moenie daaroor debatteer nie. Just do it, soos die Nike advertensies sê. Because that's how God rules. That's how He uses us each and every time. And the next big thing in my life is my wife. En net hoe sy kon reg staan vir dit wat gebeur. God prepared her as well. Die een oomblik, ry jy fiets, in die volgende oomblik is jy verlam. It takes a second, it takes a moment. En sy moes daarmee deel. Met twee manne was staan het 6 en staan het 8, wat so graad 8, nee, wat ook al. Whatever die grade toe nou is, maar jong manne, hulle moes deel met 'n insident wat nie bedoel was nie. Hulle moes skielik groot word. En hulle was reg voor, want ook het ek die voorreg gehad om in die aanloop my seuns tot die Here te kon lei. En as daar nou iets is wat seker kan uitstaan in alles, is dit om net jou kinders na die Here toe te kan lei en te weet wie is hulle koning. So paas is my volgende pleidooi vir ons. Jou huishouding is joune. Neem beheer. Jy is die koning, jy is die priester van jou huis. Môre is nie nog 'n dag nie. Ons maak dalk so dink, as ons hom kry, goed vir jou. Maar môre is nie nog 'n dag nie. Vandag is die beste tyd om te begin doen wat die Here jou gemaak het. Doen dit en doen dit nou. Van die terugvoer wat ek gekry het, Terwyl ek op pad na die operasietafel toe was, en dit kan ek nie onthou nie, Els het dit vir my na die tyd gesê. Ek het gebid. Ek het in my geestelike taal gebid. Weer eens net 'n bewys dat die Here in beheer was. En is. En dat gebed, julle gebede, maar net ons gedra, die suksesse wat daarna gevolg het, uitgelig. Want sien, the devil wasn't out to get an accident and just put me in a wheelchair. He was out to get me killed. So ten spyte van die ongeluk waar ons dood moes gewees het, leef ek nog steeds, het ek 'n tweede kans gekry om te kom volbring dit wat God vir my oor my pad gesit het. And I believe it's a healing ministry that's going to come across me. And all of this is part and preparation of and for that. Moenie ophou bid nie. Never think it is enough. You need my prayer, I need your prayers. Always think and carry each other in your prayers. En moenie dink dat dit nie krag dra nie. God luister. Hy's in beheer. Daar's nie 'n oomblik wat hy nie reg staan en wag dat jy met hom moet praat nie. Een van my groot struikelblokke wat ek het in hierdie tyd is om op te staan en tyd met die Here te spandeer. Want daar is tye wat ek dink, nee maar, what's the use? Net om gewou te word deur God wanneer ek wel die moeite doen. Deur 'n vers wat ek lees of 'n gebed en net skielik te besef, maar hy is daar, hy wag net. Toe volg daar wat 4 of net so amper tussen 4 en 5 maande se rehab. So wat het gebeur? Ek het my nek beseer, hulle noem dit 'n C6, C7 spinal cord injury. Medical terms, that means I'm not qualified. What does that mean? I'm qualified. But then I'm a paraplegic. Parapleeg beteken jy het nie, you don't have the use of arms or legs. So medies gesproke, is ek nie veronderstel om my arms of enigiets te kan gebruik nie. Apparently I'm just lucky to be able to talk. I would have been lucky to be able to talk. Maar wat het werklik gebeur? From the first day I had the use of my arms and my hands. They were very weak. Kon nie 'n duikende spons druk met my hand nie. Hierdie val ek amper vooroor. Hierdie vinger kon glad nie beweeg nie. So there's very small steps forward as well, because it's a process. The healing is a very slow process. Maar die van die begin af weer eens wonderwerk. Dit wat hulle gedink het gaan gebeur, het nie gebeur nie. Ek het arms gehad wat ek kan meewerk. Maar wat ek nie op gebaken het nie. Alles van die skouers af onder toe, het nie gewerk nie. That includes bowel and bladder. Toe ek wakker word, ek 'n kateter in. Geen beheer oor enige van dit nie. So ek moes leer om alles oor te doen. Ek is in doeke. En ek moet leer om aan te trek. Mense trek my aan. Ek is soos 'n baba, ek is net 'n groot een. En dit begin als oor. En toe ek nou notas probeer maak, want al julle sê ek moet miskien maar 'n paar notas maak. I found myself, I couldn't go there. Ek is nie regtig lus om daarmee te deel of weer daaroor te praat. word gevoer, want jy kan nog nie jou hande lekker gebruik nie. Maar jy sit 'n smile op en as die mense kom kuier en jy om te aanvaar jy is wat jy is. En tot vandag toe aanvaar ek dit nie. Want ek sien myself as 'n heel mens. Een wat kan loop. So jy sal ook nie sien dat ek op die internet is om te sien wat die nuutste wheelchair component of enigiets van die aard nee. Ek weier om dit te aanvaar want God het gesê hy sal my gesond maak. En Leona het elke aand kom kuier. En tyd afgestaan. Hoe sy gekoop het met dit kan net, dit is net God alleen. En my seuns daarmee gekoop het, is net God alleen. En na 'n maand kon ek elke naweek huis toe gaan, dis soos Ami pas. En so na moet ek teruggaan, ek moet dan koop ons nou Kentucky op pad terug. Dit is een van die goed wat my nou nog pla. Om weer in te boek by die hospitaal vir die volgende week. But that's what God wants us to do. Every day, one day at a time, whatever it is, He needs you to do on that day. En jy kan nie back off van dit nie. It seems menial, want maar jy kan my ons nog gesond maak. What's this rehab story nou? En die eerste keer wat ek in hierdie ding moes probeer staan, duiseligheid was koning gewees op daai stadium. As ek weer sien, dan lê ek in iemand se arms uitgepas. Want om op te staan, kon ek nie. Net om te kan staan was 'n effort. Want die bloeddruk of die bloedvloei het nie teruggekom na my bolyf toe nie. As jy staan, dan val jy. Maar ek het elke slag opgestaan. Nie vir enige ander rede nie, maar vir my mense, omdat God sê ek moes. Want die Here het vir my gesê, stand up and walk. En dit waarmee ek nou besig is, I'm standing up and walking. And the process, why the process? If I get to walk, and everything were about walking, what would I have gained? Ek kan maar net weer loop. Leona and I, many nights we would talk about this and says, but we can't get to the other side and nothing's changed. Because then, what would have been the gain? Nothing. En dis my volgende pleidooi ook aan julle. Daai verandering wat moet plaasvind. You can only be the change that you long for. God has already put into you what is necessary for that. He'll help you with that. But one thing He'll not do it for you. He wants you to do it because you need to be His witness. Want sien, imagine I did die on the day. As ek nie my hart vir die Here gegee het nie, want wat het dan gebeur? So dis my volgende ding is, maak seker dat wanneer die einde kom, jy reg is daarvoor. Ek het 'n tweede kans gekry en ek gaan dit gebruik. But this last couple of weeks and months, many people around us died timelessly. And suddenly, we've seen murders in people close to us. We've seen sons that died under trucks. That wasn't supposed to happen. And then there were fathers and mothers in 80s and 90s that had a full life. But the end result is exactly the same. They died. and I'll be ready for it. And that's something that you have to answer for yourself. God spoke to me 2 times very audibly before the accident. The one thing that He said to me is, I'm a man of my word. Because I was having these conversations and said, but why this and why that? He just said to me, I'm a man of my word. Die Here is 'n man van sy woord, hy beloof jou. Dit wat daar staan in sy woord, so is dit. And He'll do it exactly as it stands in His word. And He also gave me 5 verses that was in Deuteronomy 5 verse 5 to 10. It's the 10 commandments, but it started just before and it ended just before the commandments itself, where He says that I am the Lord your God that took you from Egypt and took you to the promised land. I'm a jealous God. And do not have anything to worship other than me. Because if you don't love me, it will be upon you and all your generations after you. But I do show mercy to those that love me and keep my commandments. So daar's nie net beloftes nie, daar's nie net niceties nie. Daar's opdragte. And when God commands you to do something, do it. Listen and do it. And the next thing that came from these verses in my mind is He confirmed, I am the Lord your God. He confirmed, He is my God. He claimed me. I am His, and so are you. Dankie baie. Daar's nog baie wat ek wil sê, maar genoeg vir eers. Dankie dat julle gekom het. Soos wat julle ingestap het, wil ek elke slag omtrent net in trane uitbars. Want wie is ek om so bederf te word met vrou en kinders, maas en paas, vriende en familie soos julle. En die jare in by ons gestaan het en nog steeds by ons staan in vriendskap en in besigheid en alles. We honor it and we really salute you and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.